searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you. 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 I'm still from dirt to the sky. I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up.
And it, and it, and it, and it, and it is glorious! And I run, just for fun, 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 just for fun,
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
just for fun, 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 just for fun.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirt historian, and we're late, but I have a really good reason why. So, as many of you know, I live in Texas. And Texas is not supposed to usually get really, 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 really cold. And yet, we have had a temperature drop of kind of an extreme magnitude, you know, starting kind of yesterday and going all through today. Let me take a look. Currently, right now, outside where I live, it is 17 degrees. And it's supposed to drop all the way to 7. And some of my homies in other parts of the state, like Ego, are telling me that they are going to be there. It's already 21 degrees where they are. And I know you guys who live up, you know, like near the Great Lakes and up near the border of Canada are probably going, psh, T-shirt, you're just a wimp. Well, you know, see, that's the thing. We get the 100-degree temperatures, and we laugh whenever you guys are boiling. We get the freezing temperatures, and, you know, you guys get to laugh at us. That's just kind of how it works. So, yeah, we've got some really, really cold-ass temperatures. We have a little bit of snowfall, but it's not like big snow. It's like tiny little, like, I don't even know what to call them. It's almost like dust snow. It's like little particles of snow that are just comprised from, I don't know, humidity or something. I'm not sure what the deal is with it, but it's weird. I don't know if it'll stick or not. I don't know if we'll actually get a snow day tomorrow. I doubt it. It would be nice. But I suspect what's more likely to happen is it'll just be really, 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 really cold and miserable all night. And then by morning, it'll start warming up and we'll end up having to go to work and go through our day with just a cold and miserable day. Because that's the way it goes. But anyway. All right. So my other guys on the panel encouraged me to go ahead and go on tonight, even though we were late. And part of the reason I am late is because we had to secure emergency supplies in case we lose power, because our wonderful Texas power grid, being what it is, isn't really designed to withstand just, freezing cold temperatures. It's designed for heat. So if it goes out, then I'm going to be freezing my nuts off all night. But actually, I'm not, because, I got smart. I've got some Mylar blankets, and those things will keep you toasty. Also got some emergency food wrap, or food prep stuff, so not worried. And plenty of stuff in the fridge and in the pantry, so even if it lasts a little while, we'll be okay. Plenty of water. We'll be all right. It'll just be cold and miserable. Oh, and here's an iron caster. Hey, bud.
Hello. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah.
Okay. This cold is crazy. Even up here, okay. I had gone to work today, and I stopped at my local gas station. It is 0.
Wow.
And even in this weather, I go up there. There's a guy in a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, I understand. And maybe, there was a time I probably would have done something crazy like that too. But as I've gotten older and I'm on more heart medication and stuff like that, which keeps my blood pressure down, yeah, not so much. Because it's just like I get cold with air conditioning. So you can imagine what this temperature outside makes me feel like right now.
Well, this kind of leans into my theory that Latinos are all lizard people.
Well, I mean, we did have snakes on our pyramid. We did worship, Quetzalcoatl, the snake, and the feathered serpent. So, maybe.
I'm just saying, like, if WotC is declaring that like every race has some sort of monster race associated with it. Of course, we know what they say about goblins, and we know what they say about orcs. So I want to say that Latinos are merfolk or lizard people.
Well, they're already too late on that one because Games Workshop did that a long time ago.
Did they now?
Yeah, with their Warhammer First Edition, when they released lizard people, they were all styled after Aztecs and Mayans.
Oh, okay. Actually, I can already kind of imagine I can already picture it.
Well, you don't have to picture it. I can probably find a picture of it. Let me see. Games Workshop. Warhammer Lizard Men miniatures. Because I remember seeing them. They're not going to have... Let me see. Maybe circa 1990s? 1980s, yeah.
Oh, I see him.
So, yeah, here they are. They don't really look... Where's all the ones that really looked... Oh, here we go. And it's in a... It's in a picture that doesn't look very good.
Here we go. How about this? How about my version?
Let's see. Is it the same one?
Oh, yep.
No. I've actually got a good picture here if it'll let me bring it up. But the page URL appears to be slow. So let me go about this a different way.
How about this guy?
Hold on, bud. Hold on. Let me see. No. No.
Okay.
No. That's a newer one. We're talking circa 1980s. So this is more it right here. See clearly how they're using macahuitls, and they're wearing, kind of the same sort of gear and stuff like that Eagle Warriors would have in their symbology on their banners and all that.
But where's the chancla?
Look at their feet. Do they look like they wear chanclas?
I mean for weapons.
Oh, well, the girls have those at home.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
Savo.
I am learning a lot today.
Yes, you are. So, yeah. Games Workshop had you beat by, 20 some odd years. Well, it's 2025 now. 40 some odd years. Oh my God, I feel old.
Hey!
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, first off, since we hadn't really had a chance to talk about it, I want to say that if you guys out there have not seen our interview with Sandy Peterson that we had on Saturday, you need to go watch it now because it was really, really good. I was just absolutely floored at how quick his mind was and how fast he could shift between topics and how well he could answer everything. And I gotta say this, maybe it's just me, but we've had two super duper industry greats on this channel. We've had Sandy Peterson now, and we've had Mark Reinhagen. And it's so weird how each of them were super duper just awesome to converse. I mean, Mark Reinhagen, in his case, is like, yeah, he can get a little long-winded, but he has this uncanny ability to almost like figure out what question you wanted to ask before you asked it out loud, and he has already worked the answer to it into whatever he is saying. He is super intuitive that way. And talking to Sandy Peterson, you could see how fast this man's mind was moving when we could switch between topics from different times, from different eras or whatever, and he kept up with us like it was, no big deal. Like he was still in the moment. And, whenever people talk about, being in the presence of a genius or something like that, it's like, I think that's what it feels like when you talk to somebody like one of these two guys. I don't know. What do you think?
I was actually very impressed with him. He was able to keep a really well thought out discussion going, and it's saying something considering I'm kind of, in a lot of ways, I was sort of woefully out of my element for it. So, I mean, I had with a lot of these kind of legends, like in many cases, they're having created either the original version or just a game in general. I've largely not had a ton to interact with, but it's very fascinating to listen to the guy talk.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was just kind of like, with both of them, is just like, you really do get a sense of like just how little you know. And I generally tend to think, no, I'm not trying to stroke my ego here or anything, or but I usually, whenever I'm talking to, people, I usually kind of tend to think that I'm the smartest guy in the room. But not with these guys. Not at all. Savo says Sandy Peterson made me think to rewatch the stream at X 0.75 speed. Yeah, because he could shift topics so fast. He could talk so fast about his subjects and stuff like that. I mean, it's just like, I was at first I was floored that, he stayed with us for a whole hour, but then he wanted to go even more, and he probably would have gone on even longer if I hadn't mentioned anything. You know what I mean? I think he was actually having a good time.
Which is ultimately the best mark you can have for a guest. Someone who you want to be able to keep a conversation going, but not, so much to the point that you're like, you can't get that word in. And with the best guest, you don't want to interrupt them.
Mm-mm. And it's funny, we've had a lot of success with that. I mean, it's like when Grim and I talked to Raven CS McCracken the very first time. First off, I was shocked that he wanted to come on the channel, or that that we were able to get him onto the channel after I asked him. But what was more shocking is the fact that at first he was like, "Well, I got 30 minutes for you," because he was afraid that we were just gonna trash his Cinnabar product and everything. But I think whenever we won him over, when we were told him, I was like, yeah, the game had its problems, but it had a really great setting and all these other things. And his enthusiasm for it grew and grew so fast that I think he actually stayed with us for a full 2 hours before he had to go to work.
Well, the big difference though is there's of course this whole idea of the same old questions, the same stuff that people wind up always going to, But then there's the challenge in a quality interview, I think, of trying to find the angle that people haven't gone with yet, or try to reach out to a person in perhaps an area that they weren't expecting. Like you find out that, I don't know, Sandy Peterson is a souffle chef, and you want to ask him about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the reasons why one of the first things I opened up with was, about how fear and horror is so difficult to run in games. I mean, yeah, comedy is also difficult, and he agreed with me on that too. But he said that, like I told him, I said, fear is difficult, which is why you would need a mechanical factor in any fear-based game, whether it be a sanity loss or a fear factor of some kind. And it was kind of neat to see how he jumped in on that and agreed and went about it. And we got that revelation from him that the sanity thing was, even though he came up with it, his wife is credited in Japanese press as being the one who came up with it because he was joking about it. So
it's like, well, I'll let you have that one, baby. Happy anniversary.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that, yeah, he's right. I mean, how many times have we said on this channel that over in Japan, the two biggest games that they love over there is Sword World and Call of Cthulhu? And it was fun to hear him bring that up on his own without us prompting him about that. I mean, it's kind of telling because, Grim usually has quite a bit to say on things, but even he was kind of just, I think, floored and just sitting back with his jaw open at some of this stuff because he was like, I don't think I have anything I could say here.
Which I gotta say is pretty impressive if you can sort of dumbfound Grim in a way, or you can kind of have him stepping back just to sort of I don't want to say appreciate or be in awe, but
yeah. I think you're right about that. Is just the whole being in the moment part of it. And I love guests like this. I want to get more folks on here who are like that. And I mean, I've been trying to court Rob Kuntz into coming on, so I'm hoping that'll still happen. Especially since we did get Mark Reinhagen, we did get Sandy Peterson. Maybe the fact that we got these guys on there will kind of show these other industry veterans that, hey, we're not here to cut you down. We're not here to insult your work. We're not here to disparage you. We're here to praise you. We're here to try to ask you some good questions and to show you some genuine enthusiasm. And maybe, just maybe, get Mike Pondsmith on here.
Drink.
Well, I mean, I asked Kevin Crawford very early on, and he said no. He doesn't do interviews. And that's fair, I guess. But
the thing I've also happened to have noticed is in some cases you'll see these people kind of step up and decide they want to do their own little I don't want to say press tour, but their own little tour of kind of like this YouTube sphere of the podcast scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, it's pretty easy to kind of be able to jump from one to the next, as ultimately, all of us in this little space wind up kind of coming together and kind of forming our own little coalition, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as fun as it is to get that going, especially in this day and age with all of the YouTubers that are kind of burning out and in this TTRPG space, I think that's something we should also consider looking into. Some of these guys who've got like, hey, this guy's got 50,000 subscribers and he talks, tabletop games. Why don't we reach out and try to bring him on?
I'd be happy to. I just don't want to pay Ben Milton to come on here. Questing Beast, who he's had Mike Pondsmith on before, so goddamn. Good for him. Ben Milton is pretty straightforward. He's kind of like, yeah, if you want me to review your game, you have to pay me. He doesn't necessarily say that he's going to review it well. He's just going to give it a review for some money, and I don't think I can really shame him for that, because what he does is kind of a business. And the fact is he has enough subscribers, he has enough people who watch his channel that he knows that he is an influencer and an opinion maker in the TTRPG space, because, obviously we watch his channel to see what products he's looking at, what he's reading, what he's reviewing, and what he thinks about it. And I don't know, maybe that's the secret. Just to know your worth.
I mean, the thing is, he's been doing this long enough. He's built up that audience. He knows what he is doing. And and I will say, I do think it's funny that in his video that is an advertisement, he's going to put in additional advertisements for other products in addition.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, the thing is, like, he's successful. Like, no, there's no denying that about the guy. He's gonna continue to do well. So, as long as we don't wind up seeing that, like, he's got some skeletons in his closet that we're gonna wind up finding out. We're like, oh, half these other YouTubers that half the other people that kind of had that little falling out over the last month. Which, by the way, as an aside, have you? It seems to be like after every election, there's always this sort of fallout with political people.
No, you're right about that exactly. We're kind of seeing a bunch of that, yeah.
Well, because I want to say back in like 2022, there was like all the stuff with Ben Shapiro and Crowder, and then like here's 2 years later, we started seeing stuff with Melanie Mack kind of prop up. Razorfist's name kind of got thrown around a little bit, and it's like, what the heck? What are we gonna find out in like another 2 years that like Vieira or Tom Connors or like had some insidious secret that's gonna like bubble over and like ruin another little sphere of the YouTube?
Oh my gosh, you mentioned Tom Connors by name. We know this guy. We stream with him.
Yes. Look, I'm trying to be impartial here and point out, like, look, it's gonna hurt because it's like these people I know who I've talked to, I shoot DMs to. I'm like, am I gonna find out that someone who I think fondly of is like, I don't know, sewing wings on puppies to make chimeras?
I don't know. I mean, everybody kind of has their things and that they would rather other people not know about. I mean, and it doesn't matter how sweet they appear on the surface. They're usually got at least one or two things that they don't want people knowing about. Myself included. I mean, I don't want to tell you every single aspect of my life. That's why I don't appear on camera. But yeah, I mean, like, we have some really big friends. Culture Casino is not a little guy anymore. Tom Connors is not a little guy because he's attached to Midnight's Edge, and we know Andre too, and Paulie at the Latino Slant. All these guys are way bigger than us. But even when we got started, they never looked down on us. They always encouraged us. They're still encouraging us. They're still, they still drop in when they can. They still help us when they can. And that means more to me than, somehow having to, somehow trying to get PewDiePie or someone else to notice me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any
And-
sense?
Yeah, no, it's the thing is like would I love to get a bunch of subscribers and be successful and all that? Sure, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at here. Like I'm kind of doing my thing, I'm having my fun. Would I love to get a super chat here now and then? Absolutely. Like folks, I would love to get a super chat, but I think T-shirt would happily accept that on my behalf.
I sure would. Actually, it's kind of funny because I went onto Robot Head's super chat, or I went into his channel while he had Echo Chamberlain on one night, and I threw a super chat at Echo Chamberlain. Robot Head was like, "Oh, this one's for you." So, and it's not that I don't like Robot Head. I do like Robot Head, but between Robot Head and Echo Chamberlain, Echo Chamberlain has brought me so much more comedy and amusement. I mean, there were days when, I would just look forward to his videos just so I could see, what are we going to use from Echo Chamberlain this week on our show?
Well, the thing is, that is part of that there is that element to the whole networking of YouTube channels where we bring people on. Like, yeah, AJ Pickett. Absolutely. I'd love to hang out with him.
AJ Pickett.
I'd want to hang out with Patty some more. And it's like that there is that benefit to where, if you can get a big name, if you can get someone on with who has a little bit of prominence, and it's an opportunity to be able to throw a little bit of support. I mean, it helps out that other channel.
Mm-hmm. And, I've always said it, is every time I run a Kyle video, I always tell people, it's like, hey, go sub to this guy. Yes, he's bigger than me, but I have no qualms with supporting a big channel on my little channel because, if it's good and we enjoy it, then let's enjoy it.
Well,
not everything has to be all about me and all about small.
So speaking of, showing that support, showing that love, there was a question I happened to have noticed up in the chat earlier that I wanted to address.
All right.
From our friend, the Ultra American TTRPGer. He had a question for us.
Let's see. Did we see the new Gorge World supplement?
Yes.
That one?
Yes.
What is the... Oh, no. Is that that's the one about the super... Oh, no. I haven't seen the new one because I haven't looked at the original.
You mean you didn't go ahead and download the free to play version of it?
No.
Oh wait, no, the freebies that cost $2.
No. Why would I want? I'm never gonna run that.
But you would for the right price.
Well, I mean, for the right price, anyone would do anything almost. I mean, if somebody, walked in, came in and offered me, like a few $1 million to completely take over my channel and run it for me and tell me what to do and everything like that, I hate to say it, I'd probably sell out because the money's too good not to. And I'm too broke to say no. But
let's see here.
Gorge World for $2.
This must be a Valentine's Day supplement.
They're charging $20 for this?
$10 for the PDF, $15 for a soft cover, or $20 for the hardcover.
Okay, Savo asks, what is it? Is it gross? Will I regret asking? Yes, it is gross. You will regret asking because it's a game. Well, put it on the original there, bud. The one out there to the next to it. Yeah, go on. With the fat people on the front. There you go. Yeah.
No.
Blow that up some.
People. The fat furries.
Yeah. It is a it's a furry game and it's a vor related game.
At the very least, inflation, weight gain.
Yeah.
Which I will point out, there is some comedic potential to the idea of that kind of inflation thing. The idea of, the old arcade game, Dig Dug.
Yeah.
And I could see a way to make that work, especially if you're playing a more tune-centric game.
You know,
this is not that.
I have said it before. I'm going to try to stick to this gun that we don't kink shame. And the only reason I say we don't kink shame is because, you know, everybody has a kink, and most other people don't like what that kink is because it doesn't do anything for them. I mean, if you think about it, if we all liked the same thing and we all had it, it wouldn't be a kink anymore. It would just be a norm. But because some people like certain things better than others, and there's a little, you know, a smaller community that likes that certain thing, and the larger community doesn't, it becomes labeled a kink, and it's often derided. And yeah, vor is, you know, that's a kink. Inflation, that's a kink. They're not my kinks. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me pull up the new book. By the way, this is a gold bestseller. Which,
So if I ever needed a reason to learn to stop worrying and embrace my eating disorder.
the first line of the description I want to share here.
I can't read it. It's in like Stygian black.
I have no idea why DT is doing that. Having difficulty finding and scheduling 4 to 6 of your friends for a game of Gorge World,
Especially after you ate them all.
want to play a more personal game with a significant other or close friends? Maybe you just want to test run a new homebrew adventure setting by yourself. Or are you having difficulty GMing a game, constantly running out of ideas every time a player shows interest in the spur-of-the-moment constructed NPC? Then Gorge World for 2 is for you. A dedicated Gorge World expansion that adds 2 players and solo rules on top of a massive selection of random generated tables and to help construct and everything for long campaigns. I cannot imagine there being a long campaign of this.
I can't either. Jonathan, yeah, so you joined the live. Now you're all scared and stuff at the top of things. I did not choose this topic. This was forced upon us by Ultra American TTRPGer. Take a bow, Ultra American.
This book also provides a special journaling mechanic that helps add structure to making campaign notes to help sure both participants are on the same page when playing co-op.
Today, in our game of Gorge World, I ate Cincinnati. Yes, the entire city of Cincinnati and everyone in it. And it was delicious.
This book also contains 30 amazing black and white illustrations by 20 skilled artists. Which, I mean, given the amount of people on the internet that willing to draw, you know, furry art, I'm not surprised that statistically speaking, someone were willing to draw a lot of weight gain and fat fur art.
Well, okay. You know, I think the artists who are working for a lot of these, you know, particular groups are starting to get a little less choosy now that AI art has become as strong as it is. And they can't afford to turn down work. And I hate to get in on this topic because we've discovered that it is politically motivated in some way, and I hate to get in on politics, but at the same time, it's almost impossible not to when you find out that the shit you've been fighting against and railing against for so long was being, you know, funded by the government.
All that US aid. And the crazy thing is we keep getting stories and word coming out like every day. Like, did you see this about, I think it was like with Social Security where they were finding like people in the system that were like 300 years old?
Yeah, of course, because all of our retirement stuff like that is done on paper. It's not in databases. So unless you just happen to look at, you know, unless you happen to go to the records room and find the exact file buried under tons and tons of other files, ain't nobody gonna check.
Well, that's of course assuming that it's in a sensible location, because we also saw the federal workforce has all of their records literally in a limestone mine.
Monkey Jeebus, are you serious? Ripaverse artist connected to USAID, and people think Ripaverse might be USAID? Really? I mean, I don't think so, dude. I mean, it's like he generated all that money from Kickstarters and or whatever, right? I mean, I would hope so. I mean, I don't know Ripa personally. I'd like to, but I don't, so I can't say for sure that he's what he's connected to. But if you find some more out about this, yeah, let me know, Monkey, because I'm curious now. I mean, I always liked Ripa, to be honest. So,
like, I've talked with some of the guys who work for the Ripaverse, like Andrew is one of the guys who's in charge of the whole of the narrative, the canon. He's one of the higher ups within that. I can't quite remember his job title, but he's been on with us a few times. We've talked comics, and I've recommended to him to reach out to Alexander McCree because the way I see it, if with all the TTRPG stuff going on to the insanity there, and he said, am I going to have to get involved in this? It's like, well, if you guys want to just do a simple license job, and like he's already got the system lined up for it, it's a win-win.
I'm going to say this too, by the way. If we ever get Mark Reinhagen or we ever get Sandy Peterson or any of these big legends with us, I'm gonna invite Alexander to come hang out with us on that one, because I want to see what a couple of giant geniuses look like when they get into a room together. That would be like, the Super Bowl of nerds.
I mean, it would be fascinating to get people who've been around for all these years to sit down and then you get to probably find out like all the weird ways they've probably known each other. Like, oh yeah, I was at this convention back in like 2004 in Washington State, and then they were both at the same convention.
I don't know, but I mean, when you get to a certain level, it's kind of hard not to rub shoulders with other people who are in your same industry, especially if you're always doing cons and all that stuff. Well, I mean, it's like Sandy Peterson said, he runs into Mike Pondsmith at the cons all the time. So, but okay, Monkey Jeebus clarifies. He says Cliff Richards did a trans comic in Peru. Okay, so he was part of that whole Peruvian USA comic thing. Okay, well, again though. I hate to go and throw stones, but here's the thing, dude. It's like, okay, if they're paying me enough money, chances are I'll go do it, especially if it's something that I don't think will get back to me.
Yeah, exactly. But, like if it's like a Peruvian, like let's say there's a guy in Peru who got the money to make the comic, and then he turns around, he wants to hire artist. Well, then the artist didn't do anything wrong. He just simply took a job to draw art that he was requested. But I would love to know some more about that. But that's just my sheer 5 miles up speculation over what's going on there.
Okay, let me reiterate too something that years ago, I got my taste of cancel culture from the left. And it was because the guy who was writing the book had me on as an artist, and I worked as an artist on the book, and he released the book. It had a controversial title because it was about controversial subject matter. It got roasted, lambasted, and otherwise, every single, whatever you want to call it, crawled out of the woodwork and hated on us for the entire time that we left it out there for people to buy, until I finally, talked to the author and I said, look, man, just yank it. Just pull it down. Okay. Cause this is not worth it. You're causing me to have problems where I'm at. And so he did. But I mean, that's the thing. I was basically in the same position that I guess, Cliff was, because I was doing art for a project. I was getting paid pretty good. So I don't know if I can really blame an artist for just doing some work. I mean, if it went deeper than that, there's,
No, exactly. That's kind of my stance on it. Like, until I get a little bit more information, that's kind of what I'm inclined to believe on, at least this particular subject.
Yeah. I mean, because artists get hired to do all kinds of stuff. I mean, if I look up artists right now and what their commissions and stuff and their rates are, I bet a lot of them are to the point now where it's kind of like they're afraid for their livelihood because they're afraid that AI is going to go and take over all their crap, and so they're either having to drop their fees a little bit lower, or they're having to be a lot less choosy about the subjects they take. And I mean, and believe me, if you're an artist and that's how you make your living for the most part, and you're looking at the choice between, your morals saying, I don't want to do this kind of art versus I need to eat. I mean, yeah, exactly, Savo. The art doesn't equal the artist, or at least that is the mantra. No, it is true. It's just because you draw something on commission for somebody doesn't mean that's what you believe. Now, in Cliff's case, I don't know. I don't know enough about him to say definitively that he feels this way or that way. I just know that he did a comic book for somebody, and it was paid for through U.S. aid, and
Well, let's also not forget the part where people just have this mindless hate boner for Rippaverse and everything it does. There are people who are just unrealistically, bad faith over it, where any little element of it is being taken into the worst possible light. Not like we would have seen that in any place else, but that's nevertheless what we've seen in a lot of cases. You've got people that have been going crazy over Rippa. There's a guy who's currently who's basically said he wants to stalk him to the point of he wants to force Eric July to off him.
Wow. Well, that's the craziness of fortune, I guess, but I don't know. Ultra American says, I will pay a good artist for good work, or for good art if it's worth the money, but many you come across now don't have the artwork to match the price tag. I mean, art is subjective. What you think is good, what you think is bad versus what you will pay for. I mean, it's, that's all subjective. I mean, what I think is good, you may not think is good, or what I think is great, you may find is just horrible. We've definitely seen some DC and Marvel artists that were pretty bad. And I think that was almost like a universal opinion, just because we've seen the memes and we've seen, So I don't know.
There's a lot of terrible stuff out there, but we've also seen a lot of other people stepping up, and kind of one of those guys that is doing that is Rippa, Rippa Send. To answer your question, let's see, Patty's, you had asked if Rippa Send would fulfill a TTRPG. I'm inclined to believe they would if they think there's business there to earn, they will be more than willing to do that. Because it seems like they're largely wanting to kind of step into that crowd space where people like I don't want to say necessarily the Kickstarters, but the fulfillment side of these companies are at. Because
and Savo makes me happy.
It's important.
Savo says, okay, you just looked up Dragonbane ducks. These little bastards are magnificent. Yeah, the Dragonbane ducks, and you also need to look up the ducks in Glorantha or RuneQuest, like we were talking to Sandy about, because that's where they came from. Because Dragonbane was originally Glorantha RuneQuest at one point, and then they kind of separated off and did their own thing. But everybody liked the ducks, so they kept the ducks, and they called them mallards. But speaking of Marvel, did you hear that Marvel Rivals possibly let go of an entire division of workers? No, that's unusual, because I thought that game was doing real well.
From what I've heard, and I had only caught the headlines, but it was supposedly a Seattle team.
Oh, well, no loss. We all know what comes out of Seattle. But let's talk about something good. I got something good for you.
Ooh.
You want something good?
Sure.
All right. Let me give you something good. Clownfish did a video about it. Well, that explains it. I haven't caught up on my Clownfish, but if Neon ever wants to come on the channel, man, you're more than welcome to, Neon. We love you here. That, and it would be a huge feather in my cap, because I know I have a couple of friends who watch Neon pretty exhaustively. So if we had Neon on this show, ooh, That would be like, I'd be like, check me out, dudes.
Not
Yeah.
to brag or anything, but I've seen a tweet or two of mine and a tweet or two of T-shirts wind up in one of their videos.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's exactly a huge bragging grounds.
Well, it's pretty big for me. But here we go. Yeah, for PlayStation. Now, hopefully I'll be able to pump this out without any interference, but we'll see.
Uh-oh.
Looking a little jank.
Yeah, I am getting... Oh, actually, there it goes. No?
Okay, so my frame rate on this is really bad. I'm not sure if it's because it can't handle the size of the file or what, but we'll do the best we can with it. If you really want to watch the whole trailer, you can definitely find it up on YouTube, but I just wanted to point this out. Dang, that would have been cool. That sounded good. Okay, we just have to guess what's going on now.
This guy's just really tearing down.
Yep. Wow. Am I getting like nothing here? Really?
Yeah, no. Looking in the feed, all I'm seeing is just that still image.
Me too. I could try it one more time, see if it works, but man, this thing is really getting bad about video files. I think maybe it's just because it's too big. Okay, there's the bell, and then... kind of getting something, but... Okay, black screen. Never a good thing.
Let's see your best then, eh?
Dodge this.
Swordplay is a game of strength.
Wow.
Winning is what matters.
I really wish you could see this full motion because it's cool.
Bring as many friends as you want.
Okay, it's not gonna work for us right now, guys. I guess I'm gonna have to get a smaller video file and see if it works. Because I think what happens is I'm trying to capture these at too big of a resolution, and the stream is going, no, we can't pump it out fast enough. But okay, that is Onimusha, Way of the Warrior, the new one that's coming up, and it looks awesome. I don't necessarily think it's going to be the Assassin's Creed Shadows Crusher, but I'll make a prediction right offhand, and you guys are welcome to take bets on this if you like, but I'm kind of betting that Onimusha will outsell Assassin's Creed Shadows. Oh yeah.
But will it outsell Concord?
Oh yeah, easily. Now, whether or not it will outsell Ghost of Yotei, I don't know. Personally, I think Ghost of Yotei is going to be a turd. But Onimusha looks cool, and I'm glad to be revisiting that franchise. I only ever got to play the first one, but I really enjoyed it. The one I really wanted to get into was the second one, because my cousin had it, and I got to play just a little bit of it, and I loved it. But I never got a copy for myself, and I never got to play the third one, which I heard was also a lot of fun. So this is basically the fourth Onimusha, and your character that you're playing is Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman, the sword master of the Niten Ryu two-sword style. So... Savo? Prediction: 3 weeks before someone complains the game is too Japanese ethnocentric. Yeah. Somebody will keep saying these people are all too Japanese.
Diversity.
Yeah, where? How come there's no black people in this game? How come there's no How come there's no other races in this? There's no Indians. There's no black people.
There's no
it's all
strong
Japanese.
Latinos of color.
Yes, where are the strong women in this? How come the men are so dominant? I can't stand it.
Well, you see, T-shirt. As excited as I am for that,
Mhm.
I unfortunately I've got to be saving my money because there's an important purchase coming up that I have to make.
What's that?
Well, let's go ahead and show this one off. We are getting a life-size Gardevoir.
You can't be serious.
Absolutely real.
Why do
Available
you
now
want
on-
this?
Available now on PokemonCenter.com. The life-size Gardevoir.
For almost $500. Well, it's probably 500 after shipping. You know, if you got this thing, that your nephews would tear it up in days, or get it all full of kid goop, because they don't wash their hands very well.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So
I better go refund it.
yeah, I would. Yeah, I remember that was the most horrible experience I ever had. Was I went over to my uncle's place once, and both of my nephews were very young at that time, and they had all their toys. And I, picked up one of their toys, looking at it to see how toys had gotten better, and it was sticky. So I put it down, took a look at another toy, and it was sticky. And it was at that point I realized all these toys are going to be sticky.
Kids are disgusting.
They are, but I don't remember all my toys being sticky when I was a kid.
Shinatsky, I hate to inform you of this, but they already made the Lucario.
When they make a Lucario one, it'll sell out to a bunch of closets. Oh. Shinatsky, why are you reporting this from the chat? Why aren't you in the studio?
Because he doesn't want to be seen on screen talking about these things.
Oh, okay. Says Castor, do you own a cat? And if so, what did she do to deserve such a gift?
Oh, the little bastard. She doesn't go hunting. She goes killing. The difference is hunting implies that there's a chance of failure.
Okay. I have some funny stuff just to end this with tonight, because I think we've gone on long enough. And it is getting late, but I want to end this on a happy note, on a I don't know that we have any guests this weekend or not. None of them have popped up. Maybe I could get somebody, but we may just end up having to have a good old-fashioned, honestly sweet, discussion about stuff. And probably, maybe something will happen before then. That'll be exciting, but here's a couple of really good ones I found. Let's watch this one first.
I might pull up flexing on these niggas like a rose.
I mean, it's true.
But not wrong.
There's nothing simpler than toilet paper and Shinatsky.
Yeah, okay. Turns out he was confused on things, so I can join after all.
Oh, okay. We're about to end, but I've got another one here that's good. Hang
Well,
on.
actually, first, I have one thing to show off. And this might be worth a fuller discussion in and of itself, but we'll sneak it at the end.
It's about Dragon Bane and Deadlands. And...
No, well, it's a little more than that.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's the other one I had to show you guys. This is really worth it. I may show this one again on Saturday just because I want to have it with Grim on, because they don't have these.
It's less a gas station and more a theme park for people who think beef jerky is a food group. You don't
Ironcaster thinks beef jerky is a food group.
Well, yeah, you've got turkey jerky, beef jerky. You got
Crocodile
honey
jerky.
glazed.
Yeah. The honey glaze is really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like it
And
better
if you
than
get
teriyaki.
And if you get the jalapeno ones with the chunks in it, you have vegetable, sort of.
Stop at Buc-ee's. You disembark. The parking lot is larger than most airports, with rows of pumps all full, like it's Black Friday for unleaded. It's where you'll find lifted trucks, RVs the size of starter homes, and at least one guy filling up a 5-gallon gas can who absolutely should not be operating machinery.
I've met that guy before. I've met that guy. I've seen him.
He's probably the same guy who I saw in 0-degree weather in t-shirts and shorts.
His name is Bill, and that's what he pays the gas with. Bills.
Bills. That chick's a food group. Yeah, I know. She does look pretty tasty, doesn't she? Savo says, sigh.
Yeah, but those cheekbones worry me a little bit.
Nah, ain't nothing wrong with those. You can't see those cheekbones when you got her from... Never mind.
She's going to stab you with one of those.
She has to... Not unless her neck can reach all the... No, never mind. Let me just move on from there.
It's either that or that hair is going to like reach out sentiently and like curl and grab you and choke you.
Not from where I want to... Never mind.
No, there's hair. There's hair.
It ain't
all
that
I'm
long.
saying is Bethesda really improved their character creator, it seems.
A little bit, yeah. She's definitely wearing some kind of filter, but she's great. She's funny. Yeah. And Savo is over here sighing because she's sad because wherever she is in the UK, I think, they don't have a Buc-ee's. They've never heard of one. But here we go.
Upon stepping inside, it appears as though Walmart had a baby with Bass Pro Shop and then raised it in a Texas roadhouse.
Okay, that's true. And I could totally visualize that.
And Buc-ee's doesn't sell snacks. They sell impulse control issues. You walk in for water and leave with a brisket sandwich, 2 pounds of fudge, and a bag of beaver nuggets.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, beaver nuggets, yeah, wait till you hear what those are.
Which are basically diabetes in nugget form.
They are.
Are they cheese?
No, they're diabetes in nugget form. They're sweet.
I don't know what's in beaver nuggets, but I'm positive it's illegal in 7 states. They taste like caramel, childhood, and a root canal waiting to happen.
There you go. Oh, he's looking them up now.
Good.
Ironcaster's gonna Google it now.
They're what you eat when you've completely given up on life, but still want to enjoy it. And then there's the bathrooms. These aren't just bathrooms. They're cleaner than most hospitals and twice as private. You walk in expecting gas station horror, a broken lock and a crackhead washing their socks in the sink, and instead, you're in a day spa for your ass.
I mean, come on, how many times have we walked into a gas station bathroom and seen some dude in there who... Because I have. Matter of fact, I was once pounding on the door because I was about to piss all over myself, and the dude who walks out obviously basically took a shower in the fucking sink. So, yeah, I was a little mad. I was just kind of like, dude, could you have, like, you know, at least stepped out for, like, 3 minutes and just so I could piss? But...
The stalls have floor-to-ceiling doors. You could file your taxes in there. You could take a Zoom meeting. Hell, you could die in one of those stalls and the janitor would bless your body before they mopped around it.
You know, that's a challenge now. We should see if we can't do a show from inside of a Buc-ee's restroom stall.
You just really like Buc-ee's, tell you.
I mean, yeah.
It's the first bathroom in history where you can shit yourself and still feel respected. And just when you think you're done, you walk out and realize Buc-ee's has merch. Not just a t-shirt or a hat. Buc-ee's has turned their beaver logo into a family crest. They sell pajamas, blankets, pet beds, and onesies for babies. Because nothing says we make bold choices in this family like dressing your infant as a gas station mascot. It's not a pit stop. It's rehab for people addicted to barbecue. You don't just leave Buc-ee's. You emerge, slightly fatter, noticeably happier, and absolutely ready to do it all again.
So, yeah, that's... But yeah, Yeah, what state has Buc-ee's? Yeah, Texas, of course. Yes, and it's by the way, it's spelled like this.
That's some idiocracy level stuff where over the years it will just turn into fuckies.
Yes, it will. There's like 3 within spitting distance from me. Okay, Jonathan, your assignment then is to go and take pictures of this thing.
You need to go and rate them and find out what's the good Buc-ee's.
Uh-oh. Patty just drew her in a new meme format. She's going to hit you with, too. Uh-oh. Very inclusive to the criminally illiterate.
Why isn't there not a Buc-ee's Fallout Vault? They just sponsored one.
There should be. If Todd Howard was smart, he'll throw one into Fallout 5. No, really. If he doesn't do it, I'm going to do it.
That or the Bass Pro Shop pyramid, going, that would be an awesome setting for just some sort of like post-apocalyptic warlord who thinks it's like some fish god.
Okay.
Also, the Mall of America.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. When I finally get Ashes Without Number, and it'll be here, I guess within the next few months or so, depending on how much faster that Crawford writes it and gets the books printed. When it finally gets here, I will run a post-apocalyptic adventure using that, and yes, there will be a Bass Pro Mall, or the pyramid, and yes, there will be Buc-ee's and the cult of Buc-ee's.
Oh man,
what are the
Buc-ee's versus Bass Pro?
There you go. And just to top it off with a little bit of comedy on top, just on the side, there will also be the Healing Church of Elvis. Because I need another excuse to go and sound like the Kang whenever I'm running my games. All right, so give another peanut butter and animal sandwich there, and God bless you, and thank you very much.
Well, man, it is a bit of magic.
Have the Kings versus the Kangs, which are just which are a bunch of the Chinese people who are super into Elvis.
You need a raider party. You need like a raider camp that's all Elvis impersonators.
Well, you did see that episode of Sons of Anarchy, wherever the guy who's an Elvis impersonator, Bobby, he goes into the thing and Korean Elvis is there. And they're beating the shit out of Korean Elvis, and he's going, "Oh, no, Mama, no, please stop it! Oh, no." You didn't see that?
No, I didn't watch Sons of Anarchy.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't either.
I have 1,000 episodes of One Piece to watch.
Oh, jeez, it's the never-ending One Piece with you all the time.
I get picked on for my back catalog of anime to watch. Okay, it is like 600 series deep. Let's see. Plenty. 647.
Okay, whoever's making fun of you, that's when you tell them, "Hey, you want to smell this? Smell Bofa."
You know what's really sad?
And when they're dumb enough to ask, "Bofa what? Bofa these nuts."
T-shirt. It's one of my 3 viewers. I can't be mean to him.
Oh.
They're rebooting One Piece when the anime isn't even done and the manga isn't even done. So there's going to be 3 adaptations going on at the same goddamn time.
Didn't they do this same shit with Full Metal Alchemist?
But at least they finished that original run. This is at the same time.
And then when they did Tenchi Muyo, it's like they did like 3 different versions. They did like the OVA, and then they did like the reboot, and then they did like the TV series and all that shit.
They did that shit separately. The only one that went on forever was the OVAs.
The OVAs were the only ones worth watching anyway.
Tenchi Universe is good.
It's
that's
okay.
the OG one.
Universe?
Yeah.
I thought it was Tenchi Muyo Ryo Oki was the original one.
Yeah, Ryo Oki's the first OVA.
Yeah.
Universe is the TV series.
Yeah, that TV series is not worth a shit. Same thing with
I'm a little partial to it because that was my introduction.
well, see, like El Hazard, the OVAs were awesome, but like the TV show Wanderers, whoever made Wanderers can, I would like to grab their face and wipe my ass after I've eaten, some spicy Thai food.
Yeah, the original Al Hazard has a nice, great ending. It's like, you don't need to make any more. Please stop.
Yes, the ending for El Hazard was so good. You want to know how much we loved El Hazard when it came out? We were me and my friends, when we were working all at the store, we would just like sit there glued to the TV every time we got a new tape of El Hazard in. And when that last episode aired and they get to the ending, you have 3 grown-ass men, and we're all blubbering and crying, and we're all just, like happy and because it was such a wonderful ending. It's such a beautiful... It still cracks me up. It still, breaks me down to this day. I watch that ending, and I'll still just, like, burst into tears immediately. It's that good. But, anyway. All right, guys.
Isekai before Isekai. Before
Yeah.
they like collate it. These are exactly the cliches of the genre, and we're not going to do anything different.
Uh-huh. El Hazard is like the prototype isekai that all other isekai should bow down to, in my opinion. But they did the same thing in Orgus, technically.
I love those one elves myself. To me, that was like, it's almost the parody of what isekais became.
And then there was what was the other one? Aura Battler Dunbine. Aura Battler Dunbine is more or less kind of an isekai.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of isekai out there that wasn't called isekai before it became isekai.
Well, there was no like truck con. It usually was some kind of magic causes a person go to another world.
That's true. Yeah, not everybody necessarily got run over by a truck and transported to another world. That's kind of a late, or actually that's the trope lately.
Well, the weird thing is, as far as I can tell, it happened because of like one of the original Magical Girl series, Miki Momo.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the directors I think it was because it was getting canceled or just some shit. Like, so the director just got pissed, and so this little girl who's like a magical, she just gets run over a truck like at the end of the series out of nowhere. And then people just start to make homages to it. Like, if you ever see Excel Saga, like that happening, it was already a running gag before isekais were a thing. It's just they then turned it that you get hit by a truck and now you're in another world.
The best part about Excel Saga 2 was the dog Menchie, which means food, of course.
Yep.
Because the dog was literally like Excel's emergency food supply.
Yep. And
so apparently it's become so commonplace. Truck Coon has a Wikipedia entry.
Oh my god. Of course.
I got my own spin on the whole isekai thing, which I don't know if I'll ever get to do as like a script one. I don't even know if anyone would even like want to greenlight this shit because it's already nuts to begin with.
Yeah, Savo, can I request more giant-titted elf ladies in your work, please? Thank you. Just a request. Anyway.
Tell me more about these big titty elves.
Yeah, exactly.
You have my undivided attention.
Yeah, I know. On both of them.
There is an isekai about that.
I'm sure there is. There's isekai about everything. Why not someone's boobs? But
really,
anyway,
is there a better way to go? You isekai because you smacked into a pair of tatas and fell into traffic.
There is literally on the book somewhere, and I remember hearing this as a youngster. There was a case of a woman who smothered her husband to death with her boobs. I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. That's what I heard.
If you're gonna go,
I mean, now personally, I kind of want her to sit on my face and, maybe break my neck or something, but that's just,
No, that's exactly how I want to go. Smothered in
Yeah.
titties.
Yeah. Well, that works too. Okay. So, yeah, we can dream. Anyway, until I get $1 million, it's just a dream. And like all things, dreams must end, and so must this show. But thank you for hanging out with us for a late but very fun and kind of entertaining, at least we hope so, Tuesday with Geeks. You all take care and have fun, and have a great week in Geek.
Later.
peace.